All right, we're turning on to Liberator Court. Where are we at? Where are we at? In another episode of JAYSTRAYS. So we're out here at a base that is a civilian airport that eventually became a military air base, and it was a supporting training facility for World War II for B-1s and B-2 liberators, i.e. the term liberator. And so what we're doing is we're trying to see if we can make it to one of the hangars. There was originally 3 hangars here. JAYSTRAYS here. This is episode 67. You can see one of the hangars out my window here, and then there's another one way off in the distance over there. And I believe one actually got burnt down. And so what we're trying to do is we're gonna bring a little bit of military history to the channel. We, sometimes we're doing rail videos, or we're doing whitewater or mountain biking or what have you, but we also like to do a little military history. Sometimes it'll be mining history or railroad history, and so we'll see what we can find. All right, JAYSTRAYS episode 67, Tonopah Airfield. So yeah, they were working on selecting sites, and this is to the east of a little hamlet called Tonopah, where they had a silver strike, and they found this to be an excellent place to do training for bombing. They were bombing Ploiești in Romania, and this is one of the places that they train those B1 and B2s to make those runs. And wow, an amazing piece of history. So wow, we're driving up to it. It's obviously dangerous, so they have to put a fence up. All right, let's check it out. JAYSTRAYS episode 67. All right, so this is the ancient hangar. Where they would be working on the B1 and B2 bombers in here. See, it's a pretty extensive shop here. You can see that's a old air fan. That's how they kept cool in this place. All right. There's a lot of wood they used to build this thing. You can see the size of this thing. And then this valley, the valley that they decided to build this in, this valley is actually 60 miles wide. And you can see an Air Force plane over there. They still have operations here on this little airstrip over here. You can see the other hangar over there in the distance. And I believe if you follow the telephone poles with my finger, you see a Kwanzaa hut. On the other side of that Kwanzaa hut, I believe, was the third one of these structures. You can see they had those original pane glass and everything in here. So we're gonna try to sneak around the back here and see what we can find on the other side of this building. All right, JAYSTRAYS episode 67, Tonopah Airfield. All right, we're doing the walkabout. We're going around the backside here. We're a pretty decent sky today, catching some good sun, and you can see the size of this building. It's pretty large, multi-tiered, but obviously it's probably getting damaged by people that would come by. You got some old filing cabinets in there. You know, this might have been the administrative wing right here. They were going through blueprints. We're going through schematics, right? Schematics to work on the planes. Oh wow, look at the size of this thing. It's so huge. That is pretty cool. It's such a big building. But this is a ancient past, right? But sometimes we like to share some of the ancient past with you, especially when it comes to military history, because it's not too far off from mining history, or sometimes you know, the railroad stuff that I do all the time. Like my last video was at the California State Railroad Museum, if you check that out. Just a huge building, still intact. 80 years. This building's been here for 80 years, made of stick. Look at the size of that chimney. Now, there obviously was some other building off in the distance, because you can see a smokestack right there, another chimney just like this. But that isn't the spot where the building burned down. Wow. You got, had to keep those guys, keep them warm in the winter time. Such a huge building. Looking like a little bit like somebody came here to check out things and they abandoned their car. This looks like a little Fiat, is what it looks like. No, it's a Triumph. Wow. And you got Dirty Dick's Belmont Saloon in Belmont, Nevada. Belmont's cool, it's a mining town. But yeah, this is a sports car. I wonder if somebody gaffled the engine. Oh no, the engine's in the back. Oh no, it might have been under the hood, actually. Actually, it might have been under the hood. Look at that. Somebody wrote on the front of it with their fingerprint. Let's see if I can get it. It says TR7 1976. Somebody put that on there. Yeah, so we sometimes find some obscure vehicles like this little Triumph here. Probably a fast little car. And then we got some other things that have been, oh, that's probably was just a trailer, because I'm seeing I thought it was rail stuff, but I don't think it's rail car stuff. Those look like they're axles, and this was the trailer, and somebody removed all of the material from it and destroyed it, and then they left the remaining pieces here. So that was the abandoned TR7. And we got this wonderful piece of history. And they obviously had to get on the roof quite frequently because there's ladders on both sides. Now they got it sectioned off, but I bet if you could get get in there and get on that roof, I bet it's a pretty awesome view. We're going to see if we can find the remnants of the other two of these wonderful hangars. See what we can find. JAYSTRAYS, thanks for joining me. Tonopah Airfield. Oh yeah. Well, it is our lucky day. There's a second hangar. You can see the first hangar way out there. That's where I was at. Now we're at another hangar, and it's the same kind of hangar, but this one's not closed up. Wow. It's a pretty trick. Look how thick this ground is. It must have been a huge concrete pour in here. I see a boot hanging. Take a little peek, see what kind of things are in here. These could have just been, again, administrative things. Yeah, you got somebody's combat boot hanging. You got all kinds of parts. You got a tail bed of a truck. Pretty rustic. You see all the standing water. There's been a major rain event. Look at the size of this thing. Wow. Very impressed with the structure here. And then they obviously had to be able to come out through the back. There's some sort of quarry over here that they had. Got some used parts and things laying about. Oh. Does anybody need an alternator? So again, all kinds of parts and things, you know, car parts and stuff. There's another smokestack. See, you know, oh, somebody's muffler. It must have field stripped some truck or something, you know. Just kind of left parts strewn everywhere. But when you're in an 80-year-old structure, 80 years, look at the size of this thing. I'm gonna do another walk around here. Seeing what we can see. Oh, yeah, another old jalopy. Yeah, that's an old truck that looks like they field stripped it. Oh, yeah. This one's actually, it seems like it's a little bit better shape than the other one. You got some sort of tenements off in the distance and like a little quarry here. Low head, you gotta watch your head. All right, what else we got in here? Bed frames. I imagine people have boondocked in here. As strange as that sounds, I bet people have actually boondocked in here. So even though it wouldn't be dry, if you set your tent up in the center and you had your rain fly, I imagine you could have a decent little setup in here. And look at these doors. This is what I wanted to check out. So these doors are all retractable. Look at the size of these doors. They're all wood. And then it's like a canvas a seal in between each of the doors. And they had windows too, obviously. Some of them are still there. And that's the world's smallest door. I don't know if you got, I'm 6'2", you know, I guess you'd have to be a midget to go through this door. Or maybe it's just an emergency door. Maybe it's just emergency access door. But huge doors. They can park an entire plane in here, an entire bomber, entire B-1 or B-2 Liberator, B-1 bomb, or wow. And so I'm probably right on the money when I say that people have boondocked here, because I just caught this chair out of the corner of my eye. You know, folding chair over here. Some sort of, again, administrative buildings. I see this door closed. It's piquing my curiosity. What do they hide in here? Wow. It's full of parts. But you can see that creatures have made their way in there. But I can see all kinds of bolts and screws and stuff inside of there. So this must have been like where you got your parts to work on the plane. So these fittings and everything that are down here. Look at these rafters. Look at the size of some of those beams. I mean, it's like a 50-foot beam. Maybe it's longer. And then you see the joist right there. Holy moly. All right, we got 2 down. We're gonna try to see if we can get over to the one that was burned down. There's a 3rd one. So it's pretty excellent adventure here. You see the size of these doors, unbelievable. I mean, the planes weren't this big, but they had to be that big because, you know, obviously antennas and other things that would be sticking up from the planes. All right, JAYSTRAYS, episode 67, Tonopah Airfield, circa 1942, 19 to 45. All right, well, we're here at the 3rd hangar now, and this part of the airfield has been absorbed by what's called Century Lithium. And so they're obviously, you know, got a mine here is what it says. It says Angel Island Mine. And that's what I think. That's so hilarious because I did a video about camping on Angel Island. If you guys check like a month or 2 ago, I was at Angel Island camping with my e-bike. I did an e-bike pack, Angel Island. So here is the other hangar, and it is either burned or collapsed. I think it caught on fire is what happened. Is that part of it caught on fire and then the structure collapsed. So it was a pretty large building, just like the other 2. And you can see one of them way over there. The other one's kind of like, yeah, you can't quite see it because of this building in the way. But you can see this piece right here, and you can see there's the doors of the hangar laying down right here. So it could have been literally the roof collapsed, because look at those beams, and I don't see too much char. Nice. We could have been, who knows, could have just been the wood rotted. But yeah, there's a little view over the barbed wire here, you know. But yeah, so we like to do a little bit of sharing. Sharing is caring here at JAYSTRAYS. And I had seen this because I scan maps all the time for doing adventures and plotting waypoints, and I saw the hangars, but I noticed that this one, when I looked at the radar footage, could see that it was either burnt or collapsed. And I saw the other 2 and did a little research and saw that they go back to World War II and literally 1942. So pretty long time ago, 80 something years ago, right? And there you go. Now you can see that hangar there, the one that collapsed, and then you can see the other one right there. And then here's the airfield right here. So they would, you know, obviously bring the, you know, the bombers over here, or they're bringing them in here, or they're bringing them over there. Because you got Liberators and B1s. I think the B2 is the Liberator. And then this road that we came in is called Liberator Court. So, obviously. So, yeah, hopefully that was a little bit of interest for you guys. A little bit something different instead of the average bicycling adventure or camping adventure. I do those plenty. But I like to share a little bit of history and show a little bit of the rustic part of Nevada, the state that I happen to live in. All right, so we'll see you guys in that next video. Thanks for subscribing and liking, and share with anybody that you like, and check out those video shorts. I do lots of music shorts. So take care, and we'll see you in the next one.